We're going to start. And last week, we spoke a little bit about less about last week's parasha, and more about Chanukah and connecting it a little bit of last week's parasha. But in essence, just to give a brief introduction to where we're holding and where we want to get to, we see that after Yosef is in prison, he's in prison for 12 years. 2 extra years than he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be there 10 years. Hashem decreed on him. 2 extra years for the words that he said to the cupbearer. Remember me and mention me. He got 2 extra years for opening up when a person said, hey, just remember me and mention me. It was too much to do, too much effort in God's eyes. So I'm going to add on you 2 years. He's there for 12 years. And at that point, Miketz, 2 years have passed since Paro started to get his dreams. And these dreams are continuously happening every night. He's having 2 dreams of the 7 fat cows, the 7 skinny cows, 7 fat ears of grain, 7 skinny ears of grain. And he also had a 3rd dream of the interpretation. And for 2 years, Hashem made it that every person in in Egypt, who could interpret dreams, necromancers, astrologers, everyone in the whole entire world, they brought him. Said, come, try and interpret this dream. So everyone came, and they tried to interpret the dream. And everyone, no. Paro didn't spark the memory in Paro's mind of what he saw in the dream of the interpretation. Hashem made it he forgot it, but didn't forget it completely. It was still in his mind a little bit. He was waiting for someone to spark the memory of what he saw, the interpretation of the dream. 2 years, everyone is coming until they exhausted every single effort. And then after that, the cupbearer comes to him and says, listen, I forgot. There's a guy in prison who interpreted my dream. And exactly what he told me and the other guy who put over here, the baker, exactly what he told us, exactly what happened. He is probably the best person to interpret dreams from what I could see. Let's go and get him. So they go to Yosef now and they get him out of this jail. And they take him to Paro. And, Baruch Hashem, they come to him and what do you think he's going to say? I heard you're this big dream interpreter. What is he supposed to say? Me, I'm number 1 in town. Imagine someone calls you for a cash advance. I heard you guys are number 1. You guys are the best rate. What are you going to say? Nah, we're all the same. Huh? What are you going to say? You're not going to close the deal. You got to say, oh, I'm the one. My office is the best. Or you got the best babes. We all sell the same companies. No, I have my own specialty underneath. Right? Everyone wants to upsell themselves. And what Yosef say? Doesn't upsell himself nothing. I'm the one who interprets dreams. Hashem is the one who interprets dreams. Nothing to do with me. And right away, he throws it on Hashem. Hashem is the one who's in charge of everything. And I'll tell you what the interpretation of your dream is. 7 years of abundance that is going to be so beautiful. It's beautiful, robust cows. So you ever saw a cow, you ever driving to the city or upstate, you saw a cow, say, wow, that cow is beautiful? I don't know. Me personally, I never had that feeling about a cow. So what does it mean, beautiful cow? You see them, they're not such a beautiful animal. Yeah, they're beautiful animals in the sense that they're a beautiful animal. They provide a lot of good things. But it's not something that you look at it and say, wow. So what does it mean, beautiful, robust cows? It says beautiful, and those 7 years were so beautiful, and that everyone was wealthy. Everyone in that time was prospering. Everyone was driving around beautiful cars. Everyone had on the nice drip. Everyone was dressed nicely. Everyone had all the money. Okay? And it was Dubai. Okay? Saudi Arabia. Everyone over there had money. Beautiful. Not one person was jealous of the other. 7 years. And then after that, 7 years of famine that followed it that was so severe that like in the blink of an eye, they forgot the 7 years of abundance. Like a blink of an eye. They were so powerful, so severe in the land. So Yosef tells him, this is what's coming your way. He said, I'm going to give you some advice. What's the advice I'm going to give you? That you should designate a wise person to be in charge of the food and to take a reserve and to save 20%, put 20% aside for the future, for 7 years. Now what ends up happening is, he says, you know what? Who's a better man for the job than you? Obviously you're the wisest man over here in Egypt. 2 years I'm looking and finally the only man who comes here is you who can interpret my dream. You're the best man for the job. I'm not getting too much into the details. Takes Yosef and he makes him the viceroy. He makes him the second in command over there. The only thing between you and me is Paro tells him is the throne. You are like me, like everything like me. Go. 7 years of abundance in the whole entire world, and Yosef is collecting 20%, 20%, 20%, as much as he possibly can. And he puts it into this reserve. At the end of the 7 years, hits a famine that's so harsh that all the people, as the Midrash relates, come to Paro and says, we need to eat, we don't have anything to eat. So he tells them, I don't understand. 7 years you guys are prospering, you have all the food in the whole entire world, so much goodness, so much abundance, you didn't think to yourself to maybe save a little something? It's not like you didn't know. Huh? So you're talking to a 21-year-old kid who's working, let's say, I don't know, cash advance, he's making $50,000. You tell him, what's your savings account? It's a savings, it's nothing, it's IRA, I don't do none of these things. What's going to be in 25 years? Huh? The deal's going to slow down, you're not going to be making money. What are you doing to invest into your future? 7 years passed, and they knew that it was coming. They knew the old age was coming. And what they do? They come to Paul, they're complaining. We don't have anything. So what does Paro tell them? I don't understand. 7 years you guys weren't able to save nothing? Not one thing? What do you mean? I have to wear the nice clothing, I have to get nice shoes. Rabbi, what am I going to do? Huh? Guy comes to the rabbi at the end of his life, he says, Rabbi, I don't know what to do. I'm going to Ramadan now, so I'm at the end of my life, I'm sitting at the deathbed, chas v'shalom. He says, Rabbi, what do I do? My whole life behind me, I have no mitzvot, no zchuyot, nothing. He says, Rabbi told him, I don't understand, all your life we're telling you, mitzvot, it's the ikar, you have to do it, Ramadan. Yeah, but Rabbi, you see what's going on in the world, Rabbi? Huh? You go over here, you got Dubai, you got Bora Bora, you got Spain, you got this. What do you want me to do, miss out on all these things? Huh? Come on, Rabbi. But now I'm too late already. Now what am I going to do? Huh? It's too late already. Now I'm at the end of the road. I didn't listen before. It's too late. So what do they tell him? Paro says, okay, now that you have no choice, go to Yosef. And now figure out Yosef. So they come to Yosef, and whatever little money they had left, they came to buy food. And lo and behold, what ended up happening? They all ended up running out of money, completely. So what do? They sold their lands. They get to Yosef, we don't have any more money. He says, okay, give me your sheep, give me your cattle, give me your land. Everything they sold him. The Bugatti Veyron, the cash, everything they sold him. And then they came and said, we don't have any more land, we don't have any more cattle, we don't have any sheep, we don't have nothing to give you. So what did Yosef tell him? So then sell yourself. What do you mean sell yourself? Here's what we're going to do. Yosef came up with a beautiful plan. Everyone who owns land, we're going to own the land, but you're going to work on the land, and a percentage of everything you come from that land is going to come back to Paro. So that way you continue to work, you can provide for yourself from that which you're working, and a percentage is going to come back to Paro. And ultimately what ended up happening is after, in a short period of time, in about 2 years, Yosef made Egypt one of the biggest conglomerates in the whole entire world. The monopoly of the whole entire world. It was the superpower of the world. It was the only place in the world that had food. Everywhere there was a famine. And anyone had to come over there. It became the number one place in the world because of Yosef. Number one place in the whole entire world. And 2 years passes, and Yosef sees that the famine Yaakov sees that the famine didn't stop in Egypt, actually continued out. So he tells his children something very interesting. And from here we learn something crazy. He tells his children, why are you guys sitting around over here? Go up to Mitzrayim and get food. Let us live, let us not die. So the Gemara in Ta'anit has a question. Says, wait a minute, I don't understand what's going on over here. If you look at the words, the Gemara actually tells us, and also the Midrash relates, that actually Yaakov and his kids had food. So what was he telling his children? Go down, go and buy food. Why? We have food, what do we need to go buy? Yaakov was telling them, this is what the Gemara brings down, this was the Midrash brings down, Bereshit Rabbah. It says that in life, and this is actually halakha l'maaseh shulchan aruch or chaim, when other person is suffering, in regards to fasting especially, when another person is fasting, if you, God forbid, you forgot to fast, something like that, don't go and publicize the fact that you're eating now. The whole congregation is fasting, and you woke up in the morning, and you had a bagel with lox and cream cheese, and you're coming with the cream cheese on the lip into the Bet Knesset, and everyone's sitting over there, and so buying a cafe, hot steaming cafe. Oh, Shtabach Shemolah, it's a good one. You guys still fast? My bad, bro, my bad. Have some cinnamon, huh? He's going around, everyone's sitting over there, and he's living his life, and everyone else is suffering. Yaakov is telling the children, everyone else in the world, the children of the Ishmaelim, the children of Esav, they're suffering. And what we're going to do? We're going to cause them to have jealousy. They see that we're prospering. So go down and buy food. So from here we learn, first of all, two things. One, how much the nations of the world hate when the Jewish people succeed. As if you look into the history of the Jewish people, every time something bad befell the Jews in history, like for example in the Holocaust, what ended up happening, there was a war, the treaty laid all the reprimandments on the Nazis in Germany, and there was a huge, scarcity in Germany. And what do? They saw who was the doctors, who was the lawyers, who was the one who was prospering, the Jews. So we're over here suffering, and these Jews are prospering. Imagine they're losing their house for closing, and the Jews driving around in a Bugatti. Or they have to go to the lawyer to fight on their bankruptcy, and who's their lawyer? They see over there, Jew dripped out with the red, with the AP, and he walks in, and this guy's about to lose his business. So they see them prospering, they see this. So what are we going to do? So right away, they pin the tzarot on the Jewish nation. So Yaakov is telling them, very, very careful, especially now, what's going on in the world. Very careful, not to show that you're a Jew. To show that you're a Jew is okay. But don't be so flashy with your things. Why? Because you don't want to make other people jealous. Baruch Hashem, the Jewish people have a special blessing. They're always prospering. Baruch Hashem, the Jews, we're always prospering. Because we're the children of God. And therefore, what, we have to go and show it off? No, adrabah. And kama v'kama, how much more so when it comes to another Jew? There's a person who, God forbid, has trouble having kids. And you have 5, 6 kids. And every time you guys are together, you pull the phone. You see him? Wow, look at him, he's walking. Other guys can't have kids. Everything he's trying, in vitro, papitro, ladicho, I don't know, all these other things. He's trying everything in the whole entire world. He went, he did shluch haken. He did dipped in the mikveh with the women. He did everything you can possibly imagine. Do da'im, everything you can possibly imagine. And he's sitting over there, look. And 5 kids running willy-nilly. How do you make the guy feel? How do you make it feel? Think about it for a second. How do you make it feel? Or God forbid, you're prospering, you have a lot of money, and your friends is not so. And you come around, you make sure you're always in the nice whip, you pick him up, you got to make sure you're in the nicest whip. You got to make sure you're wearing the nicest clothes. As soon as he opens the door, the perfume, the cologne, from down the block, he smells you. No ordinary cologne, Creed, $300-$400 a bottle. It must be. We don't wear it at the toilet. No, hey, God forbid, we don't wear toilet water. We don't wear toilet water. Chas v'shalom, we don't wear no toilet water. Huh? Mainly, people pick you up with these things. You come out of the car, the cologne is so strong, you smell like it. I don't have to even ask for a spray. I walk into the car, I walk out, I'm good to go for the night. I just call my boy, come over for a second. I need to go out with my wife tonight, I need a good smell. Come over to the crib, he just drives by to open the window. Oh shit. That's it, I'm good to go. Ubal, aנשים they go kacha. And then you know the funniest question to ask? Is how is the ayin hara sholet alai? How is it possible the evil eye can have an influence on me? Kodesh Baruch Hu, he works midah keneged midah, measure for measure. What did I do? Hashem blessed me. I have a lot of money. I have this, I have that. I'm not allowed to enjoy? Yeah, you're allowed to enjoy. Of course you're allowed to enjoy. So what do you mean? What did I do wrong? How is it possible that evil eye has a power on me? What did I do? This is exactly it. Exactly the point is, when a person is provoking other people, he's provoking jealousy in the hearts of other people by showing off the things he has, then the Zohar brings down that actually every time he provokes jealousy in the hearts of other people, he actually brings down judgment on himself. Hashem says, you're bringing down jealousy in his heart. Let's see if you really deserve this thing. And then it comes in Shamayim, they start doing calculations, chas v'shalom. And then God forbid this fall, that thing, this thing, chas v'shalom, we don't know. So what is a person supposed to do? I'm not allowed to buy a big house. I'm not allowed to drive a nice car. You are allowed to drive a nice car. You're allowed to have a big house. However, everything within it means not to be too flashy. I remember one time I was walking with my wife, a house in Mill Basin. Okay? Beautiful house. They built it up from the ground up. They had to make sure that the whole front of the house was glass. Why? Because in the back, they have a wall that's from the, 10 feet tall, marble the whole entire wall. And they had to get the white, bright lights. Everyone who walks by, it's like, you're walking in Times Square like the Christmas tree over there. You can't even walk by without catching them. From the airplanes can see them as they're driving by, how bright the lights from the house. And you're walking by and you think to yourself, this is already too much. This is already too much. At the end of the day, you don't want to do anything extra to start attracting people's attention, to go out of your way. Or another etzah. Yosef had so much atzlacha in everything he did. He was the most successful person in Egypt. And what's the blessing Yosef has? Ben poat Yosef ale ayin. The Yosef was blessed that ayin hara not sholet bo. The ayin hara can never touch him. Why? We see that Yosef had a very special thing. That Hashem was always in his mouth. What does it mean Hashem was always in his mouth? Everywhere he went, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. It's not me, it's Hashem. Someone comes to the house, right? So, wow, what a beautiful house. You open the door, it's not my house, B'chlam. It's Hashem's house. You can put ayin hara on Hashem? Yeah, go ahead, put as much ayin hara you want. It's Hashem's house, not my house. So then they can go and put an ayin hara from today until tomorrow. And I tells you, you're very like this, or you have like this, or your kids are like this. What do you think? What does it do with me? What are you giving me? I don't no praise. What did I do? Talks at the end of the day, what did I do? What did a person do? We tend to go through life and go through the motions of what we feel. Everything we achieve and we accomplish, that's a society tells us that you base your prestige and your success by the amount of accomplishments you've attained. Financially, this, that. But at the end of the day, if you actually get down to the bottom of everything that happens in the whole entire world, you will see that everything you have is purely destined from God. You can have 2 people who work in the same industry, and one makes crazy money, one makes not money. You can have 2 people who do the same job, and 2 people who go to become a doctor, and one can't get picked up, and another one he's already private practice. He's already doing plastic surgery. He's making crazy money. How's it possible? Who decides where and how? So we like to be toleh. We like to contribute our successes and attributes to ourselves, and that's what leads to it. When you walk around with this haughtiness, it leads to it because you feel like I achieved this, I attained this, and guess what? That's a magnet. You're attracting attention to yourself. And what are you doing? You're provoking in the hearts of other people envy. And then evil eyes, and then ayin hara sholet alecha. And then you have evil eyes that comes on you. You're asking why? Because you're looking at the things in the wrong way. The perspective you need to have in life is, yes, buy what's in your means. Do what you need to want. You want something, get it. Don't limit yourself. A little bit limit, but don't go crazy. If you want to enjoy something, go, enjoy, buy. How many rabbis we see walking around with Rolexes? I don't have a Rolex, but you have these rabbis walking around. They can afford, they want, no problem. Why not? To spoil yourself is okay. But it's a big difference when you see a rabbi walking around with the Rolex and the sleeve is over it, and when you see the other guy who makes sure to leave it 2 clicks loose, so that way he can always jingle it every time he walks around, so everyone can hear it. Or he walks around, he has to get a shirt. Used to be back in the day, used to have a little logo, Polo, the alligator, Lacoste. Right, today, it's not enough to have a little logo. If you have a little logo today, you're poor. Today, if it doesn't say 1,000 times in the shirt, the logo, Balmain, or Amiri, I don't know, all these companies has to say 1,000,000 times, and God forbid on the back of the sweater there's not a big portrait over there that catches everybody's eye, and the guy gets the red bottom and starts walking around like he's, I don't know what, he's prancing in the streets so everyone sees the bottom of the shoe, It's like, bro, give me that for there, he starts doing kick flips, so people can see the bottom of the shoes. Or he has to wear the belt, you see he wears the belt. Now most of the time the belt's under, so what does he do? He tucks in his t-shirt so people see the belt. Who tucks in a t-shirt? מה זה? ראית דבר הזה? You saw something like this in your life? Guy tucking a t-shirt to show the belt.
Only in Harlem.
No, it's crazy. There too. There too. But the reality is, you see, there's people who go around like this. They want to catch your eye. They want to. And then something bad befalls them and they ask why? Because you're provoking it. One of the 10 commandments, how bad would it be for you to take a Jew and make him worship another God? Yeah? That's a question. Let's bring it down to perspective for a second. How bad would it be for me to take another Jew and say, whoa, you see the statue over here? Bow down to the statue real quick. What? And I convinced him and I start telling him, if you bow down to the statue, he's going to make this, and he's going to do like this, and he's going to make you like this. And the guy says, you know what? I like the idea. And now I'm machti. How bad is that? No? I'm leading him. I'm leading him to do Avodat Zarah, nachon? What's one of the 10 commandments? Don't envy thy neighbor, nachon? Don't cover thy neighbor's wife. Yeah, it's one of them. It's like, don't kill, don't steal, don't envy thy neighbor. So what's going on over here? So when I'm causing another person to have jealousy on me, it's the same thing as if I'm making him go over one of the other 10 commandments. I'm assisting to murder. I make the guy steal. I help him steal. So you help him become envious. You help him become jealousy. You're helping him be over. It's a prohibition from the Torah. And you're helping him. You're wearing these things. You're doing these things. You're doing whatever. You're flashing as you possibly can be. So you're helping him fall into these things. Same thing. 10 commandments. You ever wonder why I was up there?
Where's the border, though?
Where's the border of what? Of Mexico?
No,
Texas.
Like envy. Well, you're right. Okay.
Shema, as long as you're doing your part.
You have nice stuff. Is it your fault that this
guy
is a hater?
No, זה משהו אחר. If you're not doing anything wrong to provoke anybody.
It's Shabbat. You dress nice.
A lot of dress nice on Shabbat.
You have a nice car. Okay.
Adrabah. But again, how do you look at it? When you walk around the street and dress nice on Shabbat, you got on that, I don't know, Tom Ford custom-made suit, the bespoke suit, and you got that you're walking around. Yeah? Or you're walking around like a regular person. Yeah, regular day. So what's the problem? How would it come on you? If you're not doing something extra to cause envy in his heart, if he's doing envy on his own, Mawasai did it on his own. Nothing to do with you. He drives by your house. You have a nice house. He has envy. Masita, I have a house. And you didn't make the outside something crazy. You did. You didn't make sure there was extra glass and extra all these things so that way everyone has to see what's going on inside your house. You didn't make sure that it was, I don't know, something crazy on the tiles. You didn't make sure that it has 1,000 lights. You just have a normal house that you want to enjoy, you want it to be beautiful, no problem. But everything in life is done in a place of moderation. It's okay to have beautiful things and everything in the whole entire world, but you're not overextending yourself. You're not trying to make people jealous. You're not doing something to make them jealous. You're not trying to flash the things you have. And you Baruch Hashem, you're happy and enjoy them, it's fine. And you contributed to the right places. You know Kadosh Baruch Hu is the one who gave it to you. So this type of person, Ayin Hara can be sholet lo. Yosef HaTzadik says, Ayin Hara lo sholet bo. What do we say about a person who has Ayin Hara? Ben Porat Yosef ale Ayin. Every time we say Ayin Hara, what do we say? Ben Porat Yosef. All the Safta, what do they say? Ben Porat Yosef ale Ayin. All the time. What did Yosef HaTzadik do that he was okay? That Ayin Hara wasn't sholet bo. He was the most wealthy person in the whole entire world. The whole entire world came to him to buy food. Is anyone more wealthy than him? Is anyone to be more jealous of than Yosef HaTzadik? The only person on Torah says he's good looking. Women were jumping over fences to see him. Women were cutting their hands as he was passing by because they were mesmerized. was the most beautiful guy. When he came out after he became viceroy, women were throwing the jewelry at him. Marry me, please, marry me, please. That's how he met his wife. Osnat, because she actually was the daughter of Dinah, his sister, and she had the family emblem. She threw it at him. He saw the family emblem. He said, who is this? Who put this over here? She raised her hand. He ended up marrying her. But we see who else threw at him? All the girls. As soon as he came out, everybody was throwing at him. So if anyone you want to be Yosef. Now he became the greatest person in the whole entire world. And you see, Ayin Hara Sholet Bo. Why is Ayin Hara Sholet Bo? What did he do that he has no way? Because at the end of the day, Ma'ani, when his brothers come down, what did he tell him in Parashat? You didn't put me here. Don't feel bad. Hashem put me here. Hashem made me this position. Hashem is the one. Hashem is this. That's how he went around. He didn't go around like, look at me. Look how much I accomplished. He understood where everything came from. He understood that in the blink of an eye, Hashem could take it all away. Hashem gave him everything. He could take it all away as well. He understood the concept of everything came from. Such a person, Ayin Hara cannot be sholet bo. He cannot have such evil an eye affect him. Because he knows wholeheartedly. You can't fake it with Hashem. From Hashem, yeah. And when you're walking around, you can't fake it. What do you really feel in your heart? People come to you and tell you, oh yeah, you're the best salesman in the office. Tell you, wow, you're a great speaker. And you say, Baruch Hashem, you throw out there like I don't know what. Like today you're saying, I love you. And now I told you the story with I love you. Today I love you became so common. You hang up the phone with the USPS guy, you say, I love you. I love you. Oh, sorry. Somebody's so common. Also, Baruch Hashem. Like today people just throw Baruch Hashem. But what's the meaning? Where's the kavanah? Is the kavanah be'emet that this is from Hashem? Or is the kavanah is like, I'm just going to say these words to try and deter you from whatever, but I really believe it's for me. What's worse, a person who says, yeah, it was me, or a person who's fake about it and says, Baruch Hashem, but he really believes it's him? At least the other guy's honest with himself. This guy is, yeah, Baruch Hashem, but he doesn't believe it's from Hashem. He believes from him. You can't be fake with Hashem. You got to be real with Hashem. You have to be real with the world. The way you interact with the world is the way the world will interact with you. The way you go about things is the way things will interact with you. Everything that happens to your life is a consequence of your actions. Whether it be in this life or a previous life. But the reality is everything that happens in the world is a consequence of your actions. Right? What does the Gemara Masechet Brachot says? Anytime a person has Yisurim come on him, first thing he needs to do is check his actions. Did I do anything wrong? What did I do that it befell on me? And if not, then he's tolen in Bitul Torah. Then maybe I could have went to Shiur this week, I didn't go. Or I had a certain Shiur that I was supposed to go to, I didn't go to. And if it's not that, then know for sure that Hashem loves you. Why? Because Kol Mi Shoev Mochiach. Everyone Hashem loves, he rebukes. Sometimes he brings you certain things on yourself. He wants to clean you up. He wants to take you up to elevate you to a higher level. No problem. But we see what's the first answer? Check your actions. Check your actions. So everything that happens in life is a consequence of what you're going through in life. And what ends up happening? Tells the children go down. So they go down to Mitzrayim even when they don't need food. They go down to Mitzrayim just to show the nations of the world we're suffering with you. When your friend of yours is going through something, God forbid, you want to show them, I'm here with you. I'm here with you. A woman who's pregnant, with the same, you're never going to be able to go through pregnancy with her. You don't know the pain. You don't know what it is to wake up in the morning, throwing up. You don't know. Pregnancy. So what can you do to be there with your wife? Just tell her the words, I'm here with you. Hold her hand. Do what you need to do. You show her that you're there with her. You mitztaref ita batzar. You go through with her in these things. Then guess what? She feels like you're there with her. But you're not going through the pain. You're not sitting on this thing. You're not delivering this, 8 pound, 9 pound, 12 pound, chas v'shalom, a baby out of you. Huh? You're not over here tzoreach for the chaim, going for the stars. And you're sitting at the corner on your phone playing Tetris while your wife is pushing a chaim, but you're there. In life, a person doesn't need to feel you're going through what they're going through. You just need to feel like I'm there with you. Another thing you see. Yaakov teaching his sons is when in life, when you have people who are going through suffering, be there for them. Make them feel. They don't have to go through them. You don't have to say, I know what you're feeling. I don't know what you're feeling, but I'm here for you. You're very brave, you're very strong, you're very this, you're very that. I guarantee you 10 out of 10 times, you tell a person that no matter what they're going through, they'll appreciate those words. And they'll feel like you're there with them. You don't have to be sitting over there. It's a very important klal that we see, that if anytime you see if someone's going through something, be there for them. So the Achim, they go down. Now Yaakov, he tells his children, you all are very good looking, you're all very strong, you're all people of stature. If you guys are going to go through one gate in Mitzrayim, what's going to end up happening? They're all going to see you, and right away they're going to, attack you and go crazy. So split up into 10, and go through 10 different gates, 10 different entrances. Everyone different, and you meet in the middle when you go buy food. So they all came from 10 different entrances, and they go to the city, and they finally get to where Yosef is to buy food. Now Yosef recognizes them, but they don't recognize Yosef. Now what happened? Rashi explains why they didn't recognize Yosef. Because Yosef grew out a beard. So they didn't recognize his brother with a beard, right? It's almost like, you know what it's like? You ever watch the movie like a Superman, when he just puts on a pair of glasses and nobody knows who he is? He has a beard. The Midrash says that Yosef looked like his father and Yaakov had a beard. So what, they couldn't tell the difference? This guy looks just like a father. You know? No, they didn't notice. So obviously something mystical was going on over here, according to one interpretation. Another interpretation that they knew who he was, they just didn't think he was the same person. As we know that Mitzrayim was, the sages bring down that even the Malachim, even if the angels would go down to Mitzrayim, they would fall with the sin of women. How Tumah, how spiritually impure that place was. How do you know? Only two people in Torah they call tzaddik. Who you have? Yosef, a tzaddik, and Noach, a tzaddik. Right? Why do they call these two people tzaddik? Because they lived in places where everyone in the world did whatever they wanted to do. They went around in the times of the Dor Mabul, they were sleeping with animals, doing bestiality, sleeping with other men's wives, whatever you could possibly imagine. During the times of the Mabul, times of the flood, before the flood, they were doing everything you could possibly imagine. Anything they wanted, they went and they did. And Yosef, he was in Mitzrayim. You think Mitzrayim was any better? They were any more civilized? Same exact thing. Everything you could possibly imagine. This, whatever you could possibly imagine. Even not Kedekach. That Potiphar, we know that many Nefarshim bring down. He brought Yosef to play with him. What does it mean to play with him? To sleep with him. Potiphar himself was you know what? A, B, C, D, Q, G, F, G. What? Huh? No. תראי מה אני אומר. Huh?
Careful what you say, they might flag it on YouTube.
בסדר, the flag, we put it on the flag at them. They throw a flag, we throw Israeli flag. אל תדאג אחי. כל טוב, put it in the comment section. That's why I didn't say, what is it? I said A, B, C, D, F, G. Huh? Elmo. Editing it out. No, long story short. Long story short, we see Mitzrayim was a place that was the most immoral things happening in the whole entire world. That even if the angels would be down there, they would sin themselves. And Yosef comes down over there, and it's almost impossible that he didn't fall. So why do they call him a tzaddik? A tzaddik is a person who should make the brit. You can only be called a tzaddik. You can only be a person who's righteous to the Torah if you watch over your brit. If you're challenged with a test that's beyond the normal to go and do something with your brit, and you hold back and you restrain yourself, this is a person who's tzaddik. And you're exalted above everybody else. Noach in the generation, the only one who was saved. Yosef, a tzaddik, who shomer the brit, he watched over his brit. What ended up happening? He ended up becoming the viceroy of Egypt. The brit is their sword. It's the secret. It's the place where all the bracha comes from. A person will understand what makes you a Jew. Brit, what does the word brit mean? A covenant. A promise. Hashem says, I'll make a covenant between me and you. This is a sign for every generation that you are the children of God. And you walk around with that. You watch over that. And Yosef, as hard as it was for Yosef, he didn't fall in that one area. That's what made him a tzaddik. That's what made him such a great person. I spoke about it in the past many times. So the brothers come down and said, we're never going to believe that Yosef is not going to fall. It would have been impossible, according to one interpretation. According to one interpretation, they didn't mysticism, they weren't able to understand who he was. Now they come down and they come to buy food. And what does Yosef? Yosef notices his brothers right away. 10 brothers walk in. He noticed every single one of them. Clear like day. 22 years. So he's sitting over there. And right away, they come in to get food. He tells them, you guys are spies. He says, what? He says, you guys came over here to see the nakedness of the land. You wanted to steal. You wanted to come this. How do you know that? What makes you say that? Well, I never seen this in my life. People are walking in, each one of you different gates. Then you guys meet in the middle. Think nobody noticed? Think nobody noticed you guys walked in from different gates? You all noticed. Are you coming over here? I know for sure you're a spy. So what do the brothers tell him? No, we're not spies. We're a family of 12. My father lives down in Canaan, and we're herdsmen, and we have one brother who's down there, and one brother who's up there. We don't know where our other brother is. Yeah, he's lost somewhere at sea. We have one brother who's lost, one brother who's with my father, and we're 12 of us. And Yosef keeps on pushing them. No, you guys are spies, you guys are spies. And then, he says, okay, if you want to prove it to me you're not a spy, I want you to go down, and I want you to get your brother. The one that you said is over there with your father, I want you to go and get him and bring him. And as collateral, I'm going to keep one of the brothers over here in prison. So he takes one of the brothers, Shimon, takes him and puts him in prison. Right? Why Shimon? Because Shimon and Levi together, they destroyed the whole city of Shechem. So they were afraid to keep them together. He took him and said, let's separate these two. Because, like the two kids in class, they control the trouble. He said, these two, let's put them away. So he said, Shimon and Levi sit separate sides of the room. He takes Shimon, puts him in the thing. And he sends the rest of the brothers. And what does he do? He tells Menashe, his son, to put food and money into their bags. And they're walking, and on the way, they stay at an inn, and they see that their bags are filled with money. They don't know what to do. So they come home, they tell their father, listen, I don't know, we found this stuff. He goes, go back and give it to him. He says, the brothers tell him, Abba, we cannot go back there. If we're going to go back there, the guy told us, unless you see my face, if you don't have your younger brother with me. If you're not going to come with him, you can't come at all. We have to bring Binyamin with us. What does Yaakov say? No way, it's not happening. I'm not sending Binyamin. He's the only remnant I have left of my beloved wife, Rachel. Yosef, my son, who knows what happened with him? You guys said he died, he was attacked by this, we don't know what happened with him. And Binyamin is the last one that his mother passed away while giving birth to him, but Derech, on the way, Rachel passed away, giving birth to the Binyamin. And this is the last remnant I have of my wife. You know where you're taking him. Now everyone thinks Binyamin at this time was a little baby, right? What do you think of Binyamin? You think a little, he had 10 boys? He was married, he had 10 kids, he was a big guy. And you see the baby, he's always the baby. When you're 60 years old, you go out with Ima. That's weird, Ima. Ima, I'm family, I have grandkids already. No, you're always going to be my baby. Okay? See, Binyamin was always the baby of Yaakov. So he says, I can't let you take him. Reuven comes to him and tells him, Abba, I promise you on my life, I'm going to bring him back. On my life. If not, I'm going to die. Yaakov says, no, I don't trust you. You can't take him down. Now, Reuven has a little bit of a track history in the back. He switched the beds. One of the reasons why. And then they wait a few days. Because, by the way, how you know they had food? They wait a few days. The Vayigash is, I think, a month, if I'm not mistaken. And then they really got to the point where the hunger hit them as well. They didn't have any food. So now Yehuda, who was the leader among them, the kingship of all Israel, David HaMelech comes from Yehuda. He comes and he stands up. He was the kingship. He was the royal brother. He comes and tells his father, I promise you, in this life, if I don't bring him back, my life here and my life there. L'kol yamim, for all my days, meaning here and there. In the next life, if I don't bring him back, you can have here and you can have my olam haba. You can have mine this life and you can have my olam haba if I don't bring him back. Yaakov here is such a promise. Olam haba is the most precious thing in the whole entire world. He sees his son saying, Olam haba, you're giving out winning to God, olam haba. This is a promise I can rely on. So, okay, I'll send down Binyamin with you. Sends down Binyamin, they go up. And they're sitting over there. And now they sit down and say, okay, I see, you are who you say you are. No problem. He sits down with the brothers, they eat. He sends them off. He tells Menashe, his son, to go and put his goblet in the bag of Binyamin. And he sends them off. As they're leaving, he sends Menashe and all the guards to go chase after them. They go chase after them. Getting to them. And then they catch them. This is how you return kindness. We give you money, we give you food, we give you all in our world. This is how you return kindness. You steal from the king, from the viceroy. He goes to them, what did I understand? What did we take? We don't take anything. We never stole anything in our entire lives. So they came, right? Just all the way. So we have to check your bag. So they started from the oldest down to the youngest. Until they got to Binyamin, who was the youngest. They open up, they see the goblet inside. You see, you stole, you take all of them back. And now Yosef says, I want to take Binyamin to be a slave over here. To pay back for the fact he stole me. And the brothers say, no, take us all. He says, no, well, God forbid I would do such a thing. That I would take all of you when you're innocent. I'll take the person who's guilty. And I'll do it to you guys. I don't want him. Now, as soon as the brothers heard that, now what's interesting, the brother said, you're right, you caught us. And then as soon as they hear the words, no, we only want Binyamin, the language changes. This week's Parashat. Vayigash Yehuda, he comes up to him, he tells him in a very sharp tongue, you're like Paro, he starts yelling and screaming at him, and a whole fight ensues. Why? Because up until the point where they just thought it was Binyamin, they said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is punishing us for what we did to Yosef. Finally, the day has come where the retribution we have to pay for what we did to Yosef. So all of us are going to go to punishment. It makes sense. We all have to pay. But as soon as they singled out Binyamin, he says, this is not a decree from God. This is a decree from a man. And then Yehuda said, let's fight. And Yehuda, for those who don't know, he told Naphtali, one of his nephews, to go and see how many camps there were. He told him there's 12 camps. Yehuda tells him, I'm going to take 3. You each one take 1. Yehuda was so powerful that by himself was swallowing 3 camps easy. All of Mitzrayim they were going to take down. And the Midrash relates that one of the nephews overheard from far, far away, very fast guy, Usain Bolt. Is it Usain or Usain? Comes, he hears the news, he comes running, Hashem did Kfat HaDerech, and now we have another one over there with them. I mean, Hashem also was very strong. So Yehuda comes, he punches the pillar, breaks the whole pillar. Then comes Menashe, bang, another pillar, takes it down also. So Yehuda says, okay, we're not playing over here with simple people. And then Yehuda comes, take out his knife, his sheath, his sword, and it's stuck, doesn't move. So what's going on over here? He realizes something simple over here, and his anger starts to get boiled up. And he starts telling him, you're a wicked man, you're like Paro, you didn't keep your promises, you told us I want to just put my eyes on him. And now you're coming, you're trying to take him from us. And Yosef says, you all of a sudden you're so clean, you're so this. And he goes to him, what do you mean? What's going to happen to our father if we don't bring down Binyamin? He goes, now you think about your father? 22 years ago when you sold your brother, you didn't think about him? You didn't think about what happened to your father when you sold Yosef? And the brothers over there are getting a little bit, And they didn't realize because they didn't think it was Yosef. And he goes to them, you know for sure Yosef is dead, because they changed the lashon. So you said he was dead now. So you know for sure he was dead? He said, yeah, he's dead for sure. So you think so? How about if I tell you that I have him over here with me? The brother said, what? They all turn white, pale. And he starts calling out, Midrash relates, Bereshit Rabbah. He starts calling out, Yosef ben Yaakov. Yosef ben Yaakov. And the brothers are looking around in shock and Elim, they don't know what's going on. And as they're looking around, Yosef says, what are you looking around for? Yosef is right here. I'm Yosef, and my father's still alive. And the brothers, they were so afraid and shocked in that moment, they didn't have what to answer him. They didn't have what to answer him. The Midrash relates, the Gemara relates, that every time the certain Tanakh would read over this part of this story, he would cry. He says, if this is how a person looks at the tochacha of the rebuke of a human being, that when he says, I am Yosef, and we're sitting over there, they don't have what to tell him. They don't have what to answer him. This is how he feels. This is at that moment of rebuke, with basar vedam, with flesh and blood. Kama v'kama, the day is going to come after 120, we're sitting down Yom Adin, and Kadosh Baruch Hu tells Am Hashem. And we're sitting over there, and now we have to answer him. Efainu, masinu. And the brothers, all the pilpulim, all the things they did in the past, all these factors they try to play in, why they were allowed to sell. Adrabah, it's a mitzvah to sell Yosef. We should have sold him. At this moment, sitting in front of Yosef, I'm Yosef, and they don't have what to say. This is an Mishal Olam Haba. When 120 comes, a person's going to get to Olam Haba. What's going to be waiting for him? What's going to be waiting for him in Olam Haba? He sees that you're going to get up there, Kosh Baruch Hu is going to say, I'm Hashem. And everything is clear now. There's no more Sfekot, Olam Haba, no Olam Haba, all these things. You don't know anymore. There's no more excuses. No more excuses. Says Rabbeinu Yonah, when a person is here in this life, the busha that you feel, the embarrassment you have when you do certain type of things, it's much less because the body and the soul are integrated together. So what ends up happening is the body excuses the soul. As the Yetzer Hara is a part of your body. Even Krishna is a part of your body. So what did he tell you? He gives you excuses. He tells you, nah, it's okay. Adrabah, it's a mitzvah. You should do it. As one time a guy told me, I told him, you shouldn't be going out to clubs. He told me, what do you mean? Hashem is happy when I'm happy. It's a mitzvah to be happy. I told him, who told you this nonsense? Yetzer Hara is fighting you strong. I said, you believe this, Tim Tom? Huh? Tells me, who told you this? Who told you such a thing? And we see that what? We see that the Yetzer Hara comes and gives you all these tricks and all these games when you're here. As soon as the soul and the body separate and you get out to the next world, there's no more excuses. There's no more games. There's no more roundabouts. Hashem comes, I am Hashem. And you have to come and answer. What are you going to answer? What are you going to vindicate? What are you going to say? What are you going to do? Everything you did in your life. You're going to be standing over there and you're going to be looking at the creator of the whole entire world. Melech Malchei HaMelachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. You're going to be standing at him. And what are you going to say to him? How did I do more? How did I do more for you? How didn't I go out of my way for you more? How didn't I go and do extra? How didn't I go and push myself even further? How could it be that I did a certain action? As certain sages tell us that at the end of the day, one of the biggest punishments a person gets in the next life is the embarrassment he feels. He's sitting over there and he has to watch back his life now with no excuses, with no stupidity. You and God. And you have to sit there with the creator of the whole entire world, one of the creations, and watch all the actions you did in your life against him and with him. Against him and with him. And you feel that the embarrassment you feel is on a much greater level. It's on the most higher level in the whole entire world. Highest level. Yes. You can imagine what it would feel like to be standing over there as one of the brothers in front of yourself now after you sold your brother. Can you imagine? Huh? Can you imagine what it would be like to sit down in front of yourself now as one of the brothers? Multiply that by 1,000,000, that's what it is to sit down in front of Kadosh Baruch Hu. I told you. It says the Rabbi Elazar, every time he would hear this point, he would cry. He would cry. He would say, how is it possible? What are we going to do? And what does it say in the Mishnah Avot? Dam men bata, ולאן אתה הולך, ולפני מי אתה עתיד לתן דין וחשבון. Mishnah בפרקי Avot says, know from where you came from, know where you came from, know where you're going, and know who you're going to end up giving at the end of your life, who you're going to have to give down a judgment and come with a calculation now. It's going to be an accounting at the end of the day. Know where you're going. But also the Mishnah promises that anyone who keeps these things in mind is guaranteed for the rest of his life to never make a sin. Because you constantly be aware of where it came from. Came from dust, you return to dust, and at the end of the day, you go to Kadosh Baruch Hu. Now why I bring this? Why did I bring this? Because on the flip side of the coin, the side of the pain and the agony and the embarrassment is so great. On the flip side of the coin, the enjoyment is that much greater. When you do something good in this olam, do something good in this world, the enjoyment that you feel in Olam Haba is that much greater. It's at a much higher level. It's a much exalted level. And how do you do that? You have to be perfect? You have to be the most righteous person in the whole entire world? You have to be 100% perfect? No. In Mishlei it says, Ki sheva yefol tzadik v'kam. It says, 7 times a righteous person falls down and he gets up. So what's the question you have when you hear this pasuk? 7 times a righteous person falls down and he gets up. You think, it should say, 7 times a person falls down and he gets up and he's righteous. What do you mean 7 times a righteous person falls and he gets up? Sure, when he gets up, he's righteous. A tzaddik is not a person who doesn't fall. Because inevitably you will fall. The Yetzer Hara, what does he want to tell you? You're never going to fall. You want to be a righteous person, never fall. Don't ever fall. Shlomo HaMelech says, Al tifteh yoter midai. Don't sin too much. What does it mean? Inevitably you're going to sin. It's going to fall to you in your life. But don't let the Yetzer Hara trick you. You come to a fast, God forbid you forgot, you took a sip of the drink, okay, it's already broken. That's it. Like the whole thing already. No. Okay, my bad, forgot. Continue. I had a person come to me on Friday. He asked me a question. He goes to me, I was speaking with a guy, and I was trying to convince him, talk to him about Judaism. And the one answer he gave me was, Shma, actually, leave me alone. I want to be comfortable. Comfortability is my ikar. The most important thing to me in the whole entire world is comfortability. So he comes to me, asks me, how do you answer such a person? How do you get him out of this mindset of comfortability? So I told him, the question is not, do you like comfortability? There's no one person in the whole entire world you ask him, do you like to be comfortable? I'll tell you no. Unless he's a majnoon. She's a crazy case. For the most part, everyone in the world wants to be comfortable. So what's the question you should be asking him? The question is actually a little bit different. I asked him, you know what you need to ask this guy? You need to ask him, it happened to be, he was talking to a guy who was a little bit older, happened to be, was a very prestigious position. I told him, what do you do for a living? So I want to ask him, what do you do for a living? And I guarantee you he's going to give you an answer. Whatever he's going to answer you, I want you to right away follow up and say, what did you do to get there? You had to work hard to get there? And of course he's going to tell you, yeah, of course I had to work hard to get here. So what's your follow-up? So you agree that in life, you're willing to give up the comfortability if you believe that the reward pays off. It's worthwhile. It's worthwhile for me to give up my comfortability if the reward is worthwhile. A person says to himself, it's so hard to go to the gym. I got to lose 30 pounds. You know? A guy texts me today, I got to lose 30 pounds. Yeah? It's so hard for me to go to the gym. So he has to remind himself that the feeling he's going to have when he's 30 pounds lighter, does that take away from the pain I have to feel to get there? So he makes a calculation. And if he feels that it's worth it, he'll do it. He'll push himself. So how come a person doesn't have the ability when it comes to when it comes to the next world, to be able to push himself past the comfortability point? Because he doesn't believe that it's worth fighting for. He doesn't believe that it's worth fighting for. Right? He believes, okay, what's it worth? At the end of the day, you should need to know one thing clear and proof. That there is nothing in the whole entire world that is more worth fighting for than Olam Haba. It is the eternal life. This life is like the blink of an eye in relative to how long the Olam Haba is, the next life is. You have to know and believe. Today, there is no questions anymore of this Olam Haba. Not as any. Today, you have near-death experiences from all over the whole entire world. All over the whole entire world. Don't make a difference if one is in Zimbabwe, one is in Sweden, one is this, and every one of them have similarities across. Scientifically documented. They'll tell the stories over and they all have similarities. They have little nuances that link. And they never met each other, didn't grow up in the same neighborhood, had nothing to do with each other, and you see the stories link. So what's going on over here? So you want to chalk it down to coincidence? You want to say, it's a coincidence. Of course you do. But the reality is that today, you cannot refute what the Torah already told us many years ago. That there is a Olam Haba. There is something called Olam Haba. And it's the sweetest thing in the whole entire world. The sages tell you, take all of the enjoyments of this world, put them together, and one doesn't even amount to the smell of the next world. You know what the next world is? You know what the Olam Haba is? It's the greatest thing in the whole entire world. Is it worth fighting for? 100% it's worth fighting for. That comfortability that you want to feel, that the Judaism takes you away from sometimes, you want to get away from it, you have to know and believe wholeheartedly what you're fighting for. And Hashem doesn't need a lot from you. He doesn't say, I need you to do the most in the whole entire world. There's a story of the Gaon Vilna and his wife. I'll end with this. The Gaon Vilna with his wife, it says that she was one time walking with a friend. And they saw a woman who needed charity. So they went and got knocked on the door, they couldn't find her. And a woman came by, And the Gomer Vino's wife pointed a finger to show her, the woman who was giving the charity, where to go. And they both were in the matter. And they made an agreement with themselves later on in life that whoever passes away will come to the other person 30 days after their death, and they'll tell them what they see in the next world. And they shook on it. Happened to be the Gomer Vino's wife, her friend, passed away. 30 days later, she comes to her in a dream. She tells her, I can't tell you much, but I can tell you one thing. Remember that day when we go to help the people who were standing on the thing, we went to give charity? Both of us got an immense reward for helping that woman give charity. But you got that much greater reward for pointing the finger. The littlest things. The littlest things. Kosh Baruch Hu doesn't say I need you to do the whole entire world. It could be something as small as pointing a finger. Helping another person. The greatest thing, the sages teach that in the Olam Haba, one of the hardest feelings in the whole entire world is there's a special room over there. A special room that's designated in Gan Eden only for the people who are Mezakeh Rabim. Only the people who help other people to get closer to God and Judaism. And the hardest thing is trying to get in there. Once you get up, you can't. You have a very unique opportunity to help other people over here. And it could be something as little as a text, a call, something like that. When you help another person, it's the greatest thing you all can do in the world. And something as little as pointing a finger or just sending a text can get you to the highest levels in the whole entire world. So we all be zocheh to a real, healthy Olam Haba. Every single one of us. Amen.